Hey y'all. So I'm talking about water pollution on these notes. You do have a note sheet to go with this. Okay. Okay. So what's pollution? It's that undesirable change in the environment that's caused by people. Okay. Our junk getting into the ecosystem. If it's point source, we said in the other notes, it is going to be coming from one place. Here's some really good examples: a factory, a certain pipe, a certain sewage outlet, a single smokestack, or one oil spill is a really good example of point source. Non-point source is kind of coming from all around, runoff from all around a watershed slowly gathering together. Agriculture has that runoff a lot of times. Little farms, even the fertilizer people put on their lawns to make them more green. And trash, little bits of littering adds up over time. It's non-point source. It's hard to track down. Let's talk about these examples. Point or non-point. Smoke coming from a smokestack at a local factory. Is that one place or many places? It's one place, it's a point. A puddle with oil in the grocery store parking lot. Non-point, because we don't know that that came from one car. In fact, it's probably little drips and drops from a lot of cars that have parked there. At the park, trash on the ground. Well, this was on our examples in the previous slide. It's non-point. That came from all different people. After a rainstorm, dirty water running along the street in town. So running all down the street. That's going to be non-point. It's coming from all through that street and that neighborhood. Thick smoke coming out of the exhaust pipe of a car. A car is central here. It's one car. It's point. The pipe cracked and oil spilled onto the land. The pipe, one pipe, it's a point. Okay? What type of pollution do you think is worse, point or non-point? And you can explain why. There's pros and cons to trying to deal with each of them. It can be easier to stop point source solution because I'm able to say, hey, you, this particular factory, cut that out and fix it. If I'm talking about that one car with the really smoky tailpipe, I can fix that one car. But, so you might say that that's, less bad. But for non-point, if I can make little differences all across the board and convince people to be more careful, I can make a really, really big impact. So sometimes you can see one as easier to control, sometimes the other is easier to control. What do you think? I mean, sometimes it's harder to convince companies to do the right thing than it is to convince regular everyday people to pick up their trash. So it totally depends. So here's types of pollutants: sediment, toxic, bacterial, and nutrient. Nutrient like that nitrogen from the fertilizer. Okay. Sediment is what it sounds like: dirt, sand, things like that from erosion. Now, erosion can be natural, but it can also be very, very unnatural that human activities erode away land before it was ever supposed to, like on a construction site, a riverbank where you don't have the riparian buffer anymore, the mining, the logging, okay? Sediment pollution, like we said, can block sunlight. It can mess up the whole ecosystem. It can choke up the fish with their gills. And it can even bury their eggs and make them never get to hatch. Okay. Toxic pollution is chemicals that can hurt us or hurt other organisms. Pesticides, gasoline, household cleaning products, paint, chemicals. And the pesticides, I don't like bugs. I'm guilty of using them. But what happens when we get to using those, especially outdoors, is that say that I'm trying to get rid of aphids because I'm trying to grow my tomatoes and not get them eaten up. I don't know if aphids eat tomatoes, but whoever's eating aphids next will eat that poison as well. Then whoever, say that's a praying mantis, then whoever eats a praying mantis, a bird, is going to get that poison as well. And it gets more and more concentrated as it goes up the food chain, and that can cause a huge problem. Bald eagles had a problem with that, where they were not able to hatch healthy eggs because of pesticides in something way down their food chain. Okay, that's real. Bacterial, usually to do with sewage, to do with human waste. Okay. There's overflow, there's septic system, or it could be animal waste up from a farm, or boat toilets that just discharge into whatever water they're in. There's also places in the world where they do not have plumbing. It's not that the sewage overflowed, it's that there's no sewer. They just don't have bathrooms. And so it's going to end up running off into the waterway, and that's super not safe if you're going to drink that water. Okay. Nutrient, like I said, is that eutrophication nitrogen thing. Okay. We've been through that over and over. It's a big problem right now. You can literally see how green the Mississippi is from space. Okay. Fertilizer, manure, boat toilets, again, because human waste has a lot of nitrogen as well. Ugh. And household detergents, again, we're having places now, companies trying to test these things and make them safer for when they eventually end up in our rivers, lakes, oceans, things like that. Okay. Again, that eutrophication, that is this when it turns green and you get dead zones because you got excess growth of plants and algae. Is that my last slide? No way. Oh, that went faster than I thought. Okay. So make sure that you completed that note sheet. Go back if you need to go back. Okay. All right. That being said, hope you have a great day. Bye.